Today I'm here to tell you that you do not need a financial planner to help you get your portfolio together and retire early with financial independence. Hi, I'm Rebecca, and my husband, who isn't in this video but will be in the future, he's Lib, and we are on our FIRE journey to financial independence and retire early. Our goal is to retire in our early 50s. We're about 5 years into our journey. We have about 10 years to go. And when we get there, we plan to sell everything when our son is in college and slow travel the world. So our plan with this channel is to show you everything that we're doing on our FIRE journey leading up into that point, and then share with you that slow travel journey when we get there. So again, this video is about setting up a portfolio where you don't need a financial planner. I really do believe that based on all of the research that I have done over the last several years in the FIRE movement, many of us don't utilize a financial planner. We're doing something easy, we're doing something simple, and we're making it so we're automatically, consistently investing in the stock market, into index funds, so that we have basically a set it and forget it portfolio that will help us reach our FI number, or our financial independence number. So I want to share with you a little bit about what we're doing, and then at the end of the video, which I promise I won't make you wait too long, I will share with you the exact 2 index funds that we are making use of that will help us get to our financial independence number. So the easy peasy stock portfolio that we do is nice because we basically just automatically invest every single month a certain amount of money into these 2 stocks. Now, one of them is, and I don't know, I'm not super into every single detail. I know the general gist of what we need to do, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. I do recommend to you do your own research. This is not financial advice. I can't tell you that this is going to work for you. You need to do your own research. But based on all of the videos that I've watched, all of the books that I've read, this, and over the last 5 years, this seems to be what is working for us, and the projections look like they are going to get us to where we need to go. So I remember when I first learned about the FIRE movement and wanting to retire early, and I really watched Our Rich Journey, and they talked a lot about investing, and they seemed very knowledgeable. They seemed like they knew a lot about all these individual stocks and how to assess a stock, and I felt very intimidated because I didn't know all of that. I knew I could learn, but I kind of didn't want to. Like, I kind of just wanted something that was simple. I didn't want to have to spend the time to learn how to research all these individual stocks. I didn't want to spend the time to learn how to manage all of the ins and outs once you purchase a stock of should you sell it, should you keep buying more, all of that. It seemed really daunting to me. And as I kind of continued down the path, I learned about index funds. And that really spoke to me because that was where I could say, I can buy into one thing that basically self-diversifies, self-manages, the costs are low, and I can really set it and forget it. And that was attractive to me. And then that's kind of what I pitched to my husband. And that's where we both got on board. So now, in all of his accounts, in all of my accounts, these are the 2 funds that we go after and that we target. Now, that's not to say that in our brokerage accounts, we don't have a few things that we are independently playing around with. I've definitely had some things that I have dabbled in that didn't work out. My husband has had some things that he dabbled in and has worked out for so far. And so it is fun to kind of play around with stocks. But that's not where our giant financial nest egg lies in, and that's not what we're betting the farm on and our future on. So I can tell you that as long as you keep contributing regularly, preferably on autopilot, this is one of the easiest things that you can do. Now, the other thing I will say, we started not in debt. So if you are someone that has debt, you need to determine, are you going to tackle your debt first and then start investing for financial independence and to retire early? Or are you going to tackle both of them at the same time, or how you want to handle that? That's not for me to determine. That's for you to determine. But we kind of came into it not with debt, thank goodness. And so we were able to really kind of just focus on building up the nest egg. So there are a lot of ETFs out there, and they're in various sectors. They cross into markets. There's total stock, there's dividends, there's particular industries. So you need to determine what is right for you. And again, this is not financial advice, but everything that we did kind of led us down this road. We wanted to have something that tracked the total stock market, something that was going to be focused on growth. So we identified what that was and started building that position up first. And that's kind of all we did in the beginning. And then later on, as I started to learn more and more about investing, again, through YouTube University, we really added in the second part, which is a dividend index fund, one that was focused on giving us dividends that we did not need to sell in order to, get that income, so that once we were retired, we could basically have an income of dividends coming in where we never needed to sell. And that was attractive to us because we were very concerned and wanted to be very conservative about what if the market is down. With the 4% rule, you need to sell off 4% of your portfolio to fund your lifestyle when you're in retirement. But if the market is down, then you have a little bit of a problem. And so the couple behind Quit Like a Millionaire, they indicate, and this is something that we're following, that you don't want to do that, right? So you want to build up a yield shield and have dividend yield helping you with some of the funding of your life expenses in early retirement. And then you want to also have a cash cushion to kind of help make it so you can pull from your cash cushion instead of selling off your investments like the 4% rule says. So we've kind of adopted all of that. And so what we ended up with is basically a 2-fund portfolio that allows us to have growth and track the total stock market. And so that is a portion. And we do plan to fund a portion of our early retirement lifestyle with selling off of it. We just don't want it to be the full 4%. We don't want to be reliant on that. So we want the majority of it to come from our dividend index fund that is going to pay us X amount of dollars in dividends every year. And so I did kind of break down just one example to give you. This is not our example. I just thought this was an easy example to give because we still haven't settled on the exact amount that we're going to do of selling off from the growth stock versus having the dividend stock fund our lifestyle and dividends. So we're kind of working through that still, and I'll let you know when we get to that answer. But without getting too specific, if you need $50,000 to live, the 4% rule says that you would need 1.25 million or 1,250,000 in your portfolio so that you can sell off 4% each year. And like I said, our hope is to be more conservative with that. We don't want to sell 4% every year. So our hope is to build up a position in the dividend stock, let's say $1 million. And if that dividend stock or dividend ETF, I don't know all the language, ETF pays 3.5% dividends, that's going to give you $35,000 a year to live on from your dividends. That means that you only need to then sell $15,000 worth of your growth stock in order to fund the rest of your $50,000 lifestyle. And that we felt pretty good about, because if you do utilize the cash cushion and you want to have a cash cushion for 5 years worth, then you only need 15,000 times 5 years in your cash cushion. And I think that's what, 75,000. So that's not that much money to have as a cash cushion. And so now you're not so dependent on pulling out money from the portfolio in your growth stock and selling them off when it might be down. So that was really attractive to us. So like I said, that's not our exact example, but it kind of gives a little bit of an idea of how it might work, and you can kind of extrapolate it for you. So the 2 funds that we use, sorry, I've kept you in suspense this whole time. The 2 funds that we use, the growth stock ETF is SWTSX, so that's a Schwab Total Stock Market Index Fund. And then the dividend ETF index fund is, and I don't actually, is it an ETF? I don't know. I don't know, ETF, mutual fund, there's all different things, I don't know. But it's SCHD. And there's lots of information out on the internet about. And so if you want to know more, I highly recommend that you check out like Our Rich Journey, or you check out Bigger Pockets Money podcast, or you even check out Investing with Professor G, I think is his name, Investing Simplified. He talks a lot about these stocks. And so that's kind of where I get the bulk of my information. And then I'm just kind of sharing with you how we're interpreting that for our situation. So the growth is SWTSX. The dividend is SCHD. And so our, hope would be that if we can get $1 million or $2 million into SCHD, that's going to give us $35,000 a year to live on, or $70,000 a year to live on. And then depending on how much we want to come out of selling off of SWTSX, that will determine how much we need in our cash cushion. And that will kind of help us get us the rest of the way and not have to be super dependent on what's going on with the stock market to fund our annual living. So that's kind of what I had planned to talk about in this video, is an easy peasy way to automatically invest into these two. That's what our portfolio is made of. Just two stocks, just two ETFs. And it's very easy. And I think it's going to get the job done. And you don't need an expensive financial planner to help you figure this out. I think the main part is just finding that money, consistently putting it away, and staying motivated and staying on track. And like I said, we're 5 years in, we're 10 years out, and I think it's going to work. And so I hope that something like this works for you too, whether you're just finding out about all of this or you're well into your journey. Let me know in the comments below. Say hi. I always say hi back, and we would love to hear from you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.